But I was going to go to the conference. It's been really crazy on my end. But, I'm kind of glad I'm not going. It's a pure 100% Bitcoin. It's not like you're going to find your altcoin ideas and stuff like that. It's just like a Bitcoin bash. And I talked to a couple people who are going to be there. And also we interviewed a lot of people on this podcast that are there. And really some high-profile names, which just great people.
I think, let me interrupt. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I got to bug you here because if you go to the Bitcoin conference webpage, former, is it Senator Ron Paul? Mm-hmm. Rand Paul's his son. Yeah. Ron Paul speaking. Michael Saylor, who is MicroStrategy CEO. Jack Dorsey of Twitter there. Tony Hawk.
Yeah, Tony Hawk is there.
I didn't know he's a big, obviously he's a Bitcoin fan or advocate or whatever.
He might be a big Bitcoin. Remember the
Tony
Bitcoin
Hawk
crowd.
The PlayStation game when he came out with the skateboard.
Yeah.
I grew up watching him in the X Games and just, I can't skateboard and, he didn't inspire me that much. I ain't going to go break my neck. But yeah. I loved watching the guy. He's probably the greatest of all time. Yeah,
both of my daughters love to skateboard, but he's like the demographic, right? He's perfect. He's, he can identify where and he has a massive, massive following. He's still young, and that's the Bitcoin crowd, the 25, 35, under 40 crowd, and
Bobby Lee's going to speak there.
Is he? I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I saw his name on there. I hope he does because I really enjoyed listening to him.
And Dan Held is going to be there as well. We interviewed him. There's a lot of people that we've interviewed that are going to be. I
read yesterday they were expecting over 50,000 people.
Yeah, I think
that's incredible.
I think they only took 12,000 people as the invitees, whatever, for attendance. But when you have everyone, the companies involved, and all the guests and everything, it's going to be really insane. To me, I said to a couple people are going to go there, like, I'm interested to see what sentiment's going to be.
Yeah,
I even tweeted that. They're like, "This is your worst tweet. What are you talking about? Sentiment's great. We're going to hold on for dear life." And I'm like, I got to tell you, man. I get it. Like, I get the religion behind shit. I do that because I deal with analysts like that. And sometimes I make fun of them because they have something in their head for the last 25 years. And no matter what changes, they're going to say, nope, this is what you got to do. Right. I get it. But you just saw your investment. I mean, why do you invest for? You invest to make money, right? So you should say, okay, how much do I want to make on this? Is it an income investment? But there should be either a target or something that's going to make you sell it one day. Yet, I mean, not everything turns out to be Microsoft and Amazon. You hold it forever, right? And those theses, again, you can hold those forever with everything that they've got into. But when it comes to Bitcoin, I look at these guys and your stake that you bought in 2011, 12, 13, whatever, went all the way up to say $5 or even say $10 million. Some of these guys like Bobby Lee's and a lot of the other guys. And in 4 weeks, that 10 million is 5.5 million. That's got to hurt a little bit, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, you got it for you to say, I'm holding on for dear life. And this, I mean, that is not an easy thing to do when you see, and there's been corrections, 70% plus corrections on the way up, all the way up since 2011. There's been 3 of them, and this is the 4th one that's only been about 40-something%. So people think it could test like a 20,000, 22,000 level from a technical perspective. I don't know. But what I do know is it's here, it's adopted. You're going to see more institutions get into it. It makes sense, especially blockchain. A lot of technologies are coming out. We just recommended a new start you guys got to get today. It's fantastic in our Crypto Intelligence newsletter, which we did a great job managing this downturn, taking small positions and adding to them a few weeks ago. And that's how you have to invest in this industry where you're not getting killed at once. But if people say I'm going to hold on forever or hold on for something forever, I just think that could be a dangerous investment strategy. Then again, I would have looked like an idiot because I would have said that when Bitcoin was at, 12,000 and hit 19,000 as a high, whenever that was, 2017.
Yep.
So again, maybe they're right. Maybe it goes to 100,000. Maybe it goes to 200,000. I don't know. But I do know if I saw my net worth, and a lot of these guys who are in Bitcoin, all their net worth, at least 80, 90% is tied up in one asset class. When that comes down 40, 50%, I mean, you have to wonder, you got to be a little worried, I would think, right?
Oh, it definitely has to hurt. But I mean, a lot of the, I don't know Bobby Lee other than just listening to your interview, but Dan Held's the same way. A lot of those guys, I have no problem believing that they are going to hold as long as they say, because they genuinely believe in the concept. They believe in the idea. They believe in the freedom behind it and what opportunity that presents. So, but yeah, if you just join the crowd and say, oh yeah, I'm going to hold forever. What's crazy to me is that Bitcoin is around 38,000 right now. This thing kicks off tomorrow for the whale pass. And then Thursday the 4th, Friday, continues on with all the speakers and things. I want to see if the sponsors outperform Bitcoin over the next, 4 or 5 days during this. It wouldn't shock me if Bitcoin goes up with all this, and then we'll see if it pullbacks. But you got everybody, basically everybody in the game is sponsoring or covering this thing. So Binance is no doubt going to do well off of this.
Oh, you look at the sponsors on there. It's
Coinbase, obviously.
Yeah.
Even regular stocks like Microsoft is sponsoring some of this. Of course, your Krakens, your Genesis, or Gemini, the crypto exchanges. So that's going to be interesting on my end to see, hey, over the next 4 or 5 days, what's really getting more, because they're going to have signs up. Binance US has a presence there, and that's kind of what has my attention. Bitcoin's going to fluctuate anyway, but it's hard to believe it's not going to get. It's hard to believe for me it's not going to go to 40. That's only $2,000. Hell, that could happen by the time we're done.
Yeah, and guys, just think of Coinbase too, and this is what I covered in Crypto Intelligence. Coinbase, and you have a lot of companies like the Silvergate Capitals, Voyager Digitals, Galaxy. Names I'm giving away that we're up on or whatever. I don't want to give away too much out of our newsletter, but investment fees, brokerage. The volume and the liquidity is incredible. And even though this thing has come down, we saw Coinbase go from, I don't know if it was 400, I forget, but it went down like 210, 215. We added to our position in that. We're only down a few percentage points, but you're going to see earnings explode. Absolutely. They exploded last quarter with Bitcoin going up, but the amount of trading and the amount of volume, again, that's all great for these brokerage firms and investment bankers where, you're seeing these shit coins go down and stuff, but these guys are real companies that are going to generate massive amount of money, even Binance and stuff. Not that the token's a pure reflection of that, the Binance token, but and I have to give it to them. I'm not making fun of them as saying or disagreeing with them. You're holding on for dear life. The holders. What I'm saying is that when I look at a company and what makes sense from their point of view is, say, if I want to buy IMAX I bought IMAX a long time ago. I recommended it, and it was because of the 3D revolution, and it's going to be movies and stuff, and they did a great job, right? And then that thesis came to fruition. You look at Zoom, video conferencing, right? Especially during COVID, absolutely. Even, they just reported earnings, blow out the numbers. But yet you're going to have more people going back to work. You don't need as much video conferencing, right? So your thesis played out. The thesis behind Bitcoin, and I don't care what people say if you think it's a store of value, if you think it's a hedge against inflation, whatever you think, it all comes under one umbrella, right? Is that the government is going to continue to destroy the dollar and governments around the world can continue to print money, right? And you could factor that down into whatever underneath that is the reason why. But that thesis that they're buying in is never, ever going to change. That's why I get,
right,
that's one of the things I have to give to them, because that thesis that you're buying, because everyone's buying Bitcoin because of that. You could filter it down and say, well, it's a store of value, like Michael Saylor says, or it's a hedge against inflation, which it's not really, as we saw in the past couple months. Whatever it is, store of value, whatever it is. But or alternative currency, whatever. It all falls under that this is going to work because the governments are a bunch of idiots and they're going to continue to just print money recklessly, and that ain't changing anytime soon, especially in a market right now where we see massive inflation. The government's like, oh, it's transitory, we're going to be fine. And that's one thing I got to give them, right? Yeah,
one of the easiest investing lessons, and I'm having a little bit of a blank here. I think it was Buffett, or maybe it was Munger, but anyway, it's somebody that's very successful and very good. Hey, when your thesis doesn't change, then you shouldn't sell. Like if your idea thesis is still intact, why would you sell out of your investment? And to your point, that's the easiest trade there is, because the tailwinds that are driving Bitcoin mindset and the reason people like that, what you just covered, those aren't changing anytime soon. World governments are going to continue to print money, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the easiest thing. Hey, buy it, forget about it, and you're good to go. And so far, you've been proven right.
Yeah, I've been.
Unless you bought at the absolute top a couple weeks ago, you're still up.
Yeah, you're still up. You're still doing good. And it's approaching 40 now, too. So you might see a little bit of a bump, too, with the conference, and everybody's going to be covering it and the excitement. Kind of like when Coinbase came out. Coinbase came out at the perfect time. Bitcoin all-time highs. Everything was Bitcoin. Everyone was talking about it the whole time. It just came, that IPO was absolutely, then they reported earnings early to show how great their numbers were. You got to give it to Coinbase coming out and when they did. And, the stock's down a little bit from that price now. But that was kind of cool.